The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Steve Fezzik standing by to just dump his brain on all of us, all of his thoughts in sports betting. He's got some things stuck in his craw. We will talk to Fezzik momentarily. Carl Sack will join us as well to talk about this NBA challenge, this handicapping contest that we're about to launch here before the NBA playoffs begins tomorrow. Obviously, there's the games for the 8 seeds tonight, but the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge, 15 invited contestants from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports with a winner based on 38 picks between the opening of the playoffs on Saturday and the end of the NBA Finals. First prize, $3,000. Second is $500. You guys can follow all along. Carl's going to tell us exactly who's in that contest, who the 15 people are. But it's going to be a not only a $3,000 first prize and the second prize $500, but essentially with 15 players and 38 picks, boop, 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 you do the math, you got 570 picks for the NBA playoffs that you can follow along with. So that will be interesting. It's NBA hardos. I'm in there. I have no idea why I'm in there, but I'll be like, again, the Patrick Beverly, just mucking it up. But we look forward to Carl's appearance as well. And Fallica standing by. First, your tweets. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Brian Schaefer, Gil. Guess the non-wrestler. Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Lawrence Butler, or Braun Breaker. I have no idea. I just know that Rey Mysterio is a wrestler because we talked about him earlier. I'm not playing your quizzes. I'm not doing this. Jamie Leva, I thought you almost had a bulging disc moment reading those comments about WrestleMania. That one person's handle was dangerously close. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Oh, yeah, that was Shrek McPhee. I met his parents. He means no harm. Jack Olaquire. Gil, back in the day, every Saturday, watched wrestling with my grandfather, Walter Pudalek. Bobby Manigoff versus Moose Cholak. Now, that was wrestling. Oh, sure it was. Let's see. Coach Harry Ellis. Never, ever bet against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. It's like betting against Mahomes. Also, I think Naomi will win over Jade because there's nowhere to take the character if she loses. Everybody knows that. Mustache Icon. Can we get the glass-breaking sound effect anytime Stone Cold Wyatt Tomchek is on to talk wrestling? It's a good idea. Roger Jones. Gil, you really have to be impressed at gamblers/bettors having so much information immediately at hand for sports-adjacent activities. It's like someone tosses out a beach ball at a concert. They're going to bat that thing around for hours. You are not kidding me. Chris Fallica has talked about a million sports and bet on a million sports on this show over the years. He's not a WrestleMania guy either, I don't think. Chris Fallica joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, at Chris Fallica on Twitter. He is the Bear at Fox Sports. How you doing, man?
So I guess that means going to have to give you a little from Antigua in the West Indies, weighing 232 pounds, SD Special Delivery Jones.
I love SD Jones. Yes.
I heard there. No, I am no longer a WrestleMania guy. I mean, but I mean, we grew up. We all were. I can remember going to Southampton College on Long Island to watch the WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 2. When they had it at 3 different places, when they had it out in LA, when they had it at Chicago, and when they had it at Nassau Coliseum. So it was this big like pay-per-view event, and you'd go and you'd watch it. And I lived for wrestling when I was growing up. Then finally, like when you hit like 8th grade, 9th grade, you kind of grow out of it. But I loved wrestling growing up.
Apparently just us, because besides F1, I've never seen the strip this crowded, really. And when I found out it was not real, I was devastated as a child. Anyway, Chris Fallica, ladies and gentlemen, 5 sports. We got to get to 5, so there's no time to lose here. Let us start with your bread and butter, which is horse racing. What do you have for us?
Tomorrow at Keeneland, the Elkhorn Stakes to be a long turf race. I actually looked at it. Speaking of F1, I landed on a horse by the name of Verstappen, who's 15-1 on the morning line. The horse has been bet pretty significantly recently. He's been 3-1, 4-1 in graded stakes races. And if you look at the favorite, Limited Liability, who's the 6 horse, the horse has run once in the last 2 years. So I think there are a lot of trainers who are having cold meets at Keeneland. A lot of horses that maybe going to be a little overbet here. And I think Verstappen for Brendan Walsh, a guy who is really known for winning with price horses and having his horses ready for stakes races. I think that horse is is primed. I'd bet that horse across the board at 15-1.
Speaking of F1, I didn't even plan that transition right there with Verstappen at 15-1.
I didn't either.
At the Elkhorn Stakes Saturday at Keeneland. Okay, to soccer. This is the old Chris Fallica, if you don't have the stomach to lay the juice individually, parlay here. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, it's three things. Paul touched on one of the legs potentially earlier with Arsenal playing Ipswich. I mean, there's a chance by the time Liverpool take the pitch on Sunday afternoon that they'll know, like if they win the Prem. It's going to happen, but it could happen Sunday if Ipswich does beat Arsenal. And Paul said, Ipswich is going down. It's a mismatch on paper, but Arsenal did just come off that big emotional win at Real Madrid to advance to the semifinals in the Champions League. And I think there's a chance that Arteta and those guys kind of know, all right, we're finishing second. Let's get our guys some rest and get ready for the Champions League coming up. So I think there's a chance Liverpool could take the pitch knowing that they're going to win it. I think they'll beat Leicester. They're a massive favorite. So that's one leg, Liverpool over Leicester, who also, by the way, is going down. And then two other legs, both teams to score, which is not something I normally play. I am normally an under better, but I do think in these two other legs, Aston Villa, Newcastle, these two teams score a ton of goals. Villa, of course, coming off a Champions League loss, but they played well. They made a good showing of themselves, even in defeat. And then Newcastle, who Paul had in the Champions League top four for the season, which is going to catch. But these two teams score a lot, both teams to score. And then Barcelona and Celta Vigo in La Liga. Barca, one of the better attacks in the world, but their defense is a little loose, a little sloppy at times. Again, coming off of a Champions League tie this past week. Again, maybe you see some backups, maybe you see some substitutions. They'll win, but I could see this being a high scoring, like a 4-2 type of game. So Aston Villa, Newcastle, both teams to score. Barcelona, Celta Vigo, both teams to score. And Liverpool to win at Leicester.
Okay.
Get 2-1 on that.
I'm crescendoing to the good stuff. So baseball now. You have a play in baseball. Tell me where this is available.
This is available at FanDuel. And again, this is one of those things where you lay in bed late at night or you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to old man disease has to go into the bathroom late in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And you get back in bed and you're laying there for about an hour and a half and you have no idea how to get back to sleep. And some of the best bets are made in the wee hours. But I found NL Comeback Player of the Year at FanDuel. I bet him at 6-1. He's now 5-1. I bet Dustin May. I know you've got Ronald Acuna Jr. coming back from injury. Spencer Strider came back from injury this year. You have Sandy Alcantara coming back from injury. But I bet Dustin May. This is a guy who not only had a baseball-related injury he had to come back from, but in the spirit of DeMar Hamlin, I mean, he nearly died. So, like, he's overcome a lot. He's been fantastic in his couple of starts so far this year. He's playing for a team that's going to be a playoff team, win 100 games, and be in the headlines. Again, maybe he won't make it through the year because he's coming back from the arm trouble. But I thought Dustin May was worth the look here at 5-1.
All right. I'm sure the wife, if she's listening, is thrilled to know that that's what you're thinking of in the middle of the night. All right.
She's sound asleep, and I'm just sitting there, phone in hand, light, and exactly.
I understand. Visual. Yeah, you don't have to paint the picture for us. All right. So hockey.
I know you've done that with Deborah Song, fashion stylist.
Oh, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about.
Putting your tennis parlays in Europe in the middle of the night.
What? I resemble that remark. Hockey. You are aligned with Jay Kahn with the Lightning in the series.
Yeah, I am. And he hit on a lot of the reasons why here. You've got a Florida team that been to the Stanley Cup final each of the last 2 years, won it last year. A lot of hockey. They have not had Matthew Tkachuk since the Four Nations. They think he's going to be back, but it doesn't sound like it's definitive. They're not going to have Aaron Ekblad for the first couple of games, at least of this series. Tampa has been a much better defensive team this year. I know the Borkstrand injury affects their depth a little bit, but this is not a Tampa team that's going to have to outscore teams like 6-3 or whatever. They can win those games. Vasilevsky's been great. I think this Tampa team, the depth of this team, ultimately might be able to wear down Florida, which is weird to say because that's pretty much what Florida did last year with all their depth and to the Stanley Cup final. But I did like the Lightning in this series.
Okay, to the NFL draft. I know you're a guy who has your, what's the expression, your ear to the streets on this kind of thing. Tyler Warren under 9.5 as his draft position. What do you know, sir? What aren't you telling us?
I'm again, maybe I am rose-colored glasses as a Jets fan, which is ridiculous to think because there's no reason ever to have optimism as a Jets fan. But I think if you look at what the Jets did last year, and even the last couple of years in the draft, they've drafted offensive linemen and drafted them high. And look where it's gotten them. I mean, they have some pieces in place now, but they have such little skill around them. I mean, Garrett Wilson's great, obviously, but other than that, they need to get Justin Fields, a quarterback who really is not a threat to throw the ball deep, a weapon. They almost took Brock Bowers last year. It was very close. And I think now this year, drafting where they're taking, you take a tight end in Tyler Warren, who can be a pass catcher. You can line him up in a bunch of different spots and get him involved. You can get him at around plus 180. Under 9.5. I think the school of thought out there is that the Jets are going to take Membo, offensive lineman, or take Kelvin Banks, but I'm not convinced of that at all. I think they need a reason to get fans excited. And look, too, Aaron Glenn, coming from the franchise that he did in Detroit, an offense that utilized Sam Laporta a ton in all their tight ends. So I think Warren's the pick here. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I think plus 180 is a really nice price there.
Yeah, NFL draft. I mean, I don't have as many bets as I had from previous years, and
I don't either.
Yeah, and only one of them's really big, which was the Travis Hunter to go number 2. But we'll see what we can get into here in the next few days heading up to it. I'm hoping that we get it over 3.5 quarterback prop posted. I know there's a chance that teams can get middle, but we'll see. All right, Fezzik next, right here on A Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The NFL Draft is one of the few betting events where research beats reputation, and VSiN Pro helps you cash in. Right now, get VSiN Pro access through August 1st for just $59, a full summer of sharp betting insights at half the regular price. With VSiN Pro, you'll get daily best bets, including sharp insight into NFL draft props, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access on the VSiN Watch app, full access to VSiN.com's analytics, betting trends, and expert breakdowns. From the draft to the Derby and beyond, every sport, every edge, one low price. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Gil Alexander, we get tweets at Beating the Book. Bobby Geddes. I talk to Wyatt about once per month, and that was the closest I've ever heard him come to handicapping. That was great. Although I saw the disappointment in his eyes when Gil said the tennis names, he definitely practiced pronunciation last night. There are other tweets here to read, but that seems like the ultimate segue to get to what we like to call Fezzik Fridays.
Whether it's at the sportsbook or anywhere else in the casino, he's always helping us find an edge. It's time for Fezzik Fridays.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's the only back-to-back winner of the Hilton Supercontest. The only two-time winner, by the way. Steve Fezzik, everybody, at Fezzik Sports. Though don't follow him on Twitter because that's it's really a proceed with caution kind of activity. Stevie, how you doing?
Trying to use less caps in my tweets.
Yes, you should probably work on that. Yeah. The reason I stopped on that one tweet because we've gotten a million tweets about WrestleMania this morning, and if I am correct, if I recall this about you, you are a huge wrestling fan.
Back in, it's because in cable TV, when I'm old enough, we only had like 5 channels. And so we got the Atlanta station. And so the Georgia, wrestling, Gordon Soley, Austin Idol, all those dudes, American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So I grew up on that, watching that wrestling. And then I think wrestling peaked 1993, WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome, Andre the Giant against Hulk Hogan. But, it's interesting. That was obviously the main event. But the Macho Man, Randy Savage lost to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
What just happened?
Outside interference by George the Animal Steele. And what made those matches so great is you could make a case that all 4 of these fellas at any one point in their careers were baby faces and heels. They went back and forth. It made for a much more compelling drama than just a good guy against a bad guy.
You're not going to this, are you? At Allegiant, you're not. This age, you're not going, are you?
Not without a comp. It's like $200 to get an obstructed view.
Wyatt is sitting in the nosebleeds for like $700.
We're paying him too much.
We're paying Wyatt. Wyatt, whatever you're making, it's too much. Yeah, he said he had to work overtime. Okay. Let's talk about some. So first of all, the one thing that I haven't mentioned on this show yet is tonight there is the loser of the 7-8s taking on the winner of the 9-10s of the National Basketball Association. This for the respective 8 seeds in both the Eastern and Western conferences. Let's just get some plays out of the way from you before we get into some deeper topics. You have plays in some of these games.
Yeah, and shout out Mackenzie Rivers ran this for me, and it turns out if you just play all these play-in games, they're an elimination game of sorts, and certainly, a double elimination game tonight. Just play them under, and it's like 18-8 prior to this year to go under. We're only 2-2 so far. I think you'll go 1-1 with a chance at 2-0 tonight. So I am on the Heat Hawks under 220.5, and Dallas Memphis under 221.
So the under in both of those games, by the way, on the spreads, Hawks still remain a 1-point favorite over the Heat. Memphis remains a 6-point favorite over the Mavericks, again, for the 8 seeds, and the glorious right to play both the Cleveland Cavaliers and Oklahoma City Thunder, respectively. You also, though, have a play, also another under in one of the games that starts tomorrow.
Yeah, so don't get shut out. 10 a.m. start time, and that's really my handicap. I love the weekend. Early start time, Bucks, Pacers, under 224.5. Playoff basketball, so typically the pace is a little bit slower. Couple that with an early start time, and historically, you've done well going under.
Body clock special is what that is.
Absolutely.
All right, and then Major League Baseball, you have a play today. Well, look at this guy.
And Reagans, I hope I pronounced that right. Reagans.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagans. We trust.
Not exactly, but okay.
We trust Reagans. I know he had one suspect start of the year, but this is the poster child of how I like to bet baseball. Take a crappy team like the Royals and just wait for them to pitch their ace against a bad pitcher and play it in the first 5 innings because you don't even want to involve the bullpen and lay the first 5 minus the 155 in the first 5.
Look at Stevie Fezzik coming out with 3 basketball plays and 1 baseball plays for it. Absent from your list of plays is an NFL draft play. Now, I got into this the last couple days. This is a very Nevada thing more than it is rest of country, so I don't want to go too crazy on it, but I do want to spend a minute or two on this, which is, the lament here, which is these books, which I get it, they lost year after year. They lost badly, badly in quotes, right? But this is 2 years past now. The last couple years, they haven't gotten killed on this. But you also have a problem with the way that they refuse to actually allow for anything to go the bettor's way.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the bookmakers under the bus here, all right? Because they put up all these offerings where you'd have an over-under of 80 players, okay? So the dude that's supposed to go 144.5 in the draft, minus 110 in each direction, dime limits, that's what Circa was doing. And it was impossible for them to possibly think that they could win. And these bookmakers, it's like the captain of the Titanic. Years of bookmaking experience are going to land you right into the iceberg because on an NBA side, if somebody bets minus 6 and you move to minus 6.5, you're good. You move a half a point, you're good. Here, someone max bets under 144.5 and you move to 143.5. What are you doing? It's you're just going to get crushed. You're going to take 10 limit bets because the number maybe it should be 94.5. I mean, these numbers are just completely wrong, but the pendulum has swung so far. I'm looking at circa $300 limits. And what's this? I'm just going to use one player as an example. I mean, come on, guys. McMillan, Arizona wide receiver. You want to go under 18.5, minus 175. Over plus 125, a 50-cent straddle. Imagine if you were betting into baseball, right? And the Mets were minus 175 and the Cubs were plus 125. You'd be like, oh, I'm not going to play that. Yeah. I'll take my ball. I'll go home.
It drives me crazy, too, when they use this Nevada rule where you have to take them down the night before. They all throw that into the conversation as if that's what's stifling them. Oh, sorry, we got to take them down. Well, how about you put them up first before you worry about that?
I mean, how is that even relevant? That the point is, and also it goes back to, these books, they never take my advice. I've been backed off. I've been barred. I've been like shown the door. The one thing that I have never had done is any Nevada book actually saying, Stevie, you come in, we like to talk to you, just see, maybe we could glean some insights on things like this, because I can tell you, like famously we talk about it. I'll say Gil Alexander could save DraftKings $3 million a year. $3 million. My over-under. Is your phone ringing? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No. Speaking of that, by the way, I know you heard the story of Kelly yesterday. Kelly getting banned at the M for, to get banned to play blackjack anyway, because he did the absolutely egregious thing of winning $5,000 from them. This also is something that is ridiculous to you.
I am not a fan of the M and how the M is run. I'm a huge fan of how the South Point is run. But I'll give an example. I know how Kelly's level of play, and Kelly will never be mistaken for being, the world's greatest blackjack player.
That's why you got to say that. But I understand you're making a point.
Kelly is probably a break-even-ish type of player, and he's exactly the type of customer you want. He's smarter than the average bear. He doesn't play perfectly. He makes mistakes. He drinks like crazy. He has a good time. Brings in more customers.
This because you and Kelly had a caper doing this one time or two.
Yeah. So I've observed the game. I've given him the quiz. I'm like, Kelly, what do you do with a pair of twos against a three? And he's like, hit. I'm like, no. He's like, split. I'm like, no. Depends on the rules of the casino. If you're allowed to double after split, then you split. But he failed the test miserably. It's a hard test. Okay. So the idea that Kelly's getting kicked out just because variance ran good for him. I'm sure he spread correctly with some of his bets, but he doesn't spread big. There's no reason to boot him out. And the M is hurting for customers so bad, it is just mind-boggling to him that they overreacted and showed him the door.
And is that ever going to change? Or is a place like that just always going to behave that way? Because they are always going to go to job preservation first, right? Because that's what that is more than anything. It's like, oh, we can't have this. That's the first thing a boss will see. We must remove this person or whatever. I mean, that doesn't seem like in any industry where people are running scared that would change.
Yeah, they'd rather bet zero than bet 500 or 750, in terms of if there's any type of threat. That's what's great about Jackie Vaughn and like the South Point. It's like they wouldn't mind, a big win. It's no big deal. It's not sweaty.
Didn't you have some story where there were like terrible people at the table with you, but they don't throw those people out?
So I'm playing blackjack. I hit a 12 against a 6. It was the correct play at the time, given the circumstances. I stood on a 15 against a 10. I'm deviating from basic strategy. And there's a guy at the table. We're in the high limit room. He's losing his mind. He's insulting me. He's screaming at me. But he's like a terrible customer that's like, losing tens of thousands of dollars a year. And the management's just like, heaven forbid we back him off, because like, hey, it's all about owning Mahoney, right? It's all about don't ask questions, just take his money, and the good player, he's going to have to deal with it, even though it's totally disrespectful.
More with Fezzik and Carl Sack next on A Numbers Game.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Betting on sports, why not try the races? First Bet lets you wager on hundreds of horse races every day from top tracks across the U.S. and around the world. Sign up at firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use promo code VSiN200 to claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today. It's Gil Alexander. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate you guys. Best listeners in the game. Sparty at Sparty KY says, my old physics teacher in high school had George the Animal as a gym teacher in high school. Said he spoke with a lisp. Said, breathe easy, boys, breathe easy, like Mike Tyson would sound. Yeah, I'm not going to do the lisp there because that would be rude. Roger Jones, guys, when I have an expert say I normally don't play this type of bet, I'm always a bit skeptical, thinking that's more of a fun play and not ideal. And I mean no offense to anyone in particular. Do you guys agree, or am I not being fair? Do you have an opinion on that at all?
That's a great question. I think it all varies.
All varies.
Okay. I think it all varies.
Can't have a static answer. Here's one for you. By the way, Evan Klein says, surprisingly good Macho Man impression from Fez. And he did ask, Chance Copperpot asked you, okay, you could stop. I need an opinion from a respected actuary. Well, he's an actuary. I don't know how respected he is, but he's a respected actuary to some. Tell me why, Stevie, he says, minus 900 for the Bengals to not make the next Super Bowl is a bad bet. I do not believe they're close to having a 10% chance.
Oh, it's a good bet. The reason it's a bad bet is you tie up your money for a year, and you could probably find some season win investment that was superior to it, or maybe invest in the stock market. So when you talk about playing minus 900, when inflation was 2-3%, maybe you could consider it. But now that with inflation higher, Todd Wishnev has some theories as to why that would be. I'm not going to get into that. I would be very reluctant to bet a minus 900.
All right. You are involved in this VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge, yes?
I am.
Because we got a tweet from Buddhist Man. Buddhist Man noticed, he's so observant, he noticed that the first prize is $3,000, second prize $500, but nothing for the third place player. He says, third place, you get fired. Carl Sack is the brains behind this. It's the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. 15 invited contestants from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports, with the winner based on 38 picks between the opening of the playoffs on Saturday, that's tomorrow, and the end of the NBA Finals. That means 570 picks that you can track, you, the listener, can track at vsin.com/challenge. vsin.com/challenge. Carl Sack joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line at Killer Sports, killercappers.com. How you doing, Carl?
Good morning, Gil.
What was the brainchild here? Did you follow? Was it during March Madness? You're like, we should do this for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's been the football contests and the college basketball contest, and I just figured, hey, let's have one for NBA.
Can you reveal to us some of the names, or maybe all the names, all 15?
Sure, yeah. Alex Christensen, Kelly Bidlin, Drew Dinsick, yourself, Gil Alexander, myself, Kyle Akins, Aaron Renning, Doug Kazarian, Sean Green, Mr. Fezzik, Zach Cohen, Scott Reichel, Ryan Kramer, Mitch Moss, and JBT.
How about that? Stevie Fezzik's in it as well. Now, Carl, just between you and me, nobody's listening. But if you had to put a favorite, who's the favorite in this? Are you the favorite in all this?
I might make Aaron Renning the favorite.
Aaron Renning is your favorite.
I would make Aaron Renning the favorite as well.
Yeah, I make Aaron Renning and Carl Sack in some order. They're at the top. Those two guys.
And by the way, if there were two guys, immediately go to the list we talked about, some people are like, never buy picks from anybody. It's like, well, they probably have never met Carl Sack or Aaron Renning.
It's absolutely right. They've never. And so now, give us the structure here. So how many? First round is 20 selections, right? So 20 picks. It's, what is it, Carl? It's total or full game sides? Only full game total or sides, right?
Correct. Yeah, and you can make 20 picks on any game. Apply them to any game you want. You get a point if you win, half a point if you push. And got to make sure you get your 20 picks in before the round's over.
Okay, so 20 picks. You can pick them, all at the end, all at the beginning, however you want to do it. It's 20. Second round is 10 selections. Conference finals, 5 selections. Finals, 3 selections. Again, I'm talking full game totals, full game sides. What happens if someone's tied? How are we breaking that?
Everybody submits their pick for the champion, the NBA champion this year, and that ends up being the tiebreaker. And again, the point of all of this, also for the listener, it's one thing that we're playing this, but again, it's a grand total of, if you do the math, that's 570 picks collectively from those 15 folks that Carl just mentioned, ourselves included, that you can sort of track during all of this at vsin.com/challenge, part of the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. Carl, for those who don't know, works at Killer Sports. He's the proprietor, over there. Carl, you have a bit of a promotion as well, if you want to try killersports.com. Oh yeah, there's a coupon code VSIN40. If you sign up with that, you'll get 40% off your first month, and you can do a 3-day free trial just to check it out, see all the tools.
Okay. It's, by the way, 3-day free trial, no credit card required, 40% off your first month when you use promo code VSIN40. But again, that's at killersports.com. But again, the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge, created by this gentleman right here, Carl Sack, with the help of Bill 80. By the way, who's the long shot? Am I the long shot in this to win this? Am I the guy?
I think I am.
You think you are?
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of. I kind of feel like me and Fez are there, especially Fez. By the way, I don't even want to put myself in his category. We're kind of there just to be the
the Patrick Beverleys just to play game theory and pollute the experts?
I'm good in contests. There's no doubt about that. If I'm in contention, by the way, Derek's going to get mad at me and Mike Palm. I'm going to create work for them. I'm going to donate my prize money to the Circa room attendants, who I feel are the most underpaid, least appreciated. So administrative nightmare for probably Mike Palm will have to deal with it. Whatever, if I should win anything, it's going to the room attendants at Circa.
Okay, and if I should win anything, it's going to everybody behind the glass there. Right here. There you go. Of course, we have to win first. That's the first problem. Carl, thank you for doing this. And picks have to be in each day of, before the first game is tipped off, right?
An hour before the first game each day tips. Yeah.
So remember that, Mr. Contest Man. You can't wait till the game itself. It has to be in the morning.
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time. Carl, any plays today, by the way? Or anything in tonight's games from you, or no?
I actually don't have anything in either of tonight's games that I'm in love with.
Okay. Appreciate it, Carl. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Carl.
Thank you, Carl.
Sack, everybody, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. He and Aaron Rinning, I would, and again, I've followed Carl for years. Everybody here. Carl even gives Aaron a lot of credit for being his inspiration. The two best NBA handicappers I've ever run into ever.
Absolutely. Year after year, the results speak for itself. And think about this. You've got literally like world-class handicapper. Who do you like tonight? The lines are right. I don't like anything. As opposed to you go into like the talking heads. That's an answer I will not hear the rest of the day when every other NBA content provider specialist will have an opinion on both games.
Something happened earlier on the show, which I know, rubs you the wrong way, which is we had a guest who, Jay Connie has the Caps 35-1 to win it all. The Caps are not at 35-1 to win it all now. They're 11-1 to win it all. Whenever there's someone who has something in pocket, if they hadn't given it out on this show, that rubs you the wrong way. But I think Jake might have earlier in the year, so I don't know that applies. You gave out a few baseball season win totals. Would you like to update those for us?
I would, and I did give these out, documented last Friday. So I played the White Sox and the Rockies under 53.5 and under 54.5. They are currently at 51.5. So think about this. They're projected to lose 111.5 games.
Yeah.
Both equally.
And the Rockies are so getting there, too.
Awful. I just can't believe the White Sox haven't lost 9 in a row yet, but it's going to happen. They're in a four-game scheme again on the losing side. The Pirates under 71.5, and they're struggling. And Giant Magic over 83.5. You know what? It's currently at 85.5 or 86.5. I like over.
Yes. Unlike Mark Borchard, you put the proper amount of Giants Magic into your model.
You have any actuary would. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Actuaries are known for putting magic into the things they do. So I mean, this is the thing: is you are kind of obsessed. Would you agree with the 100 loss, 100 win thing? Because we've been talking about this for a few years now.
Yeah, and famously, like the first time Gilly and I spoke about this, Todd and I were all at the M of all places.
Yes, we were at the M
of all places.
Yeah,
and had an excellent lunch. And we were looking at what's this? There's a prop. Will any one team lose 100 or more games? And so Todd had a clean account at this place. And it's like the yes was like minus 200 from memory. And literally, I said, Max bet it.
Over and over.
Yeah, so he bets, yes, there'll be one team, any team.
Yeah.
And then it goes to minus 260. I'm like, again. And it goes to minus 320. And I'm like, Hans Gruber and Die Hard, hit it again. I'll take it. He's like, but you laid minus 200. I'll take it under advisement. Hit it again. And Todd just kept betting. And I think 4 teams lost 100 games.
Yeah. But you do agree with me. Let's find common ground on this, because I sort of pushed back on the Dodgers one the other day. You agree with me that the losers of 100 games is a more likely outcome than the winner of 100 games.
Absolutely. There's only going to be one team that wins 100-plus games this year. It's going to be the Dodgers.
We'll recap all the bets on the show today from all of our guests, including myself as well as the host. We'll do that and more with Steve Fezzik. On the other side, it's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander. Steve Fezzik standing by to wrap it up with us. But first, our G-Bank best bets of the day, courtesy of G-Bank, the official bank of VEASAN. We are not going to get the plus 370 home on Alex de Minaur. It is, again, you know what you're getting into when you're fading Carlos Alcaraz. But Carlitos not only broke back in the first set, he won the first set 7-5, and he's cruising home here up a break in the second set. So, well, you can dream. Sometimes it doesn't work out. We do have two more coming up today, though, after a banner day yesterday. Tiansoa Serra Rakotomanga Rajauna. Plus 185 versus Suzanne Lemens coming up here in tennis. And then also after this Alcaraz match is finished, Stefanos Tsitsipas minus 101 against the Frenchman Artur Fils. Those are my tennis plays of the day. Jay Kahn Hockey Kings Series price plus 115 over the Oilers. The NHL playoffs begins tomorrow. Kings Series price plus 115 over the Oilers, and the Lightning Series price at even money over the Carolina Panthers. Excuse me, not the Carolina Panthers, pardon me. Over the Panthers. Talking Florida Panthers in this case. Paul Carr's Premier League bets. 2 tomorrow. A couple totals. Everton, Man City, under 2.5 goals at even money. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, over 2.5 goals, minus 135. Shop around for the best prices. Sunday, he's on Arsenal, win to nil at plus 120 over Ipswich Town. 2, Jason Weingarten's bets. He's on the Mets today. Mets today, minus 164 in baseball. And on the Yankees, raise over 8.5 runs. Yankees raise over 8.5 runs. Look at Jason Weingarten with a couple baseball bets today. Then to Chris Fallica, the Bear. He's all over multiple sports. The Elkhorn Stakes tomorrow at Keeneland. The number 4 race. What is it? Is it Verstappen at 15-1? Yes, Verstappen at 15-1. That's Saturday at Keeneland. The Elkhorn Stakes. I just want to make sure that I got that correctly. Yes, I did. That's exactly right. Verstappen 15-1, the number 4 horse. Saturday at Keeneland, the Elkhorn Stakes. Tyler Warren, under 9.5 draft position in the NFL Draft on Thursday, plus 180. The Penn State tight end, under 9.5 from Chris. Dustin May, comeback player of the year in the National League at 5-1. That's available. He's at FanDuel. And he, too, like Jay Kahn, is on the Lightning at even money versus the Florida Panthers series price in a great first-round hockey matchup. Best of 7 series. Fallica also had a 3-leg soccer parlay. We should not sleep on that. I know how much you love parlays, Stevie.
Absolutely.
This pays $2. Aston Villa, Newcastle, both teams to score. Barcelona and Celta Vigo, both teams to score. And then Liverpool to beat Leicester City in the Prem. And then Steve Fezzik. How about Steve with a baseball play? Royals first 5 today behind Cole Reagan's minus 150. And then in the NBA tonight, in the games for the 8 seeds in the East and West, he's on the Heat, Hawks under 220.5, the Mavs, Grizzlies under 221, and then this weekend, starting tomorrow, this is tomorrow's game between the Bucks and the Pacers, game 1 of that best of 7 first-round series in the East. He's on the under in that as well, 224.5. Oh, and Joe Pita, not to be outdone. Joe Pita's got 5 baseball bets. We went through them earlier. Orioles minus 150. Steve is writing these down now. Orioles minus 150. Rays minus 105. Mets minus 163. Rangers plus 117. And the Astros minus 138. Those are all of your bets on the show today, courtesy of G-Bank, the official bank of VEASAN, upping the ante with up to a $750 bonus for new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. First new customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening receive a $250 bonus. In addition, if you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the 30 days of account opening, you'll receive another $500 bonus. That's potentially a $750 bonus. Apply now at VEASAN.com/GBank. That's VEASAN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Woo! We get tweets at Beating the Book. These are some good questions here, Stevie. Oh, first of all, some comments. C. Spackler. It's like the books talking about the NFL Draft. Don't care about us. Same kind of customer service as a bank. Try to move money, and their policies suddenly change. The books force customers to head fake and spin and dance. They cause their own issues and blame us. Talking about maybe the blackjack stuff. Roger Jones. Did they get that fellow some ribs? Awesome show, owning Mahoney. Great story. Well done, Fez. What's the ribs thing?
I actually haven't seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
I just know what it's about.
Okay. New York Mess 16. Is Fezzik the proxy for Mackenzie Rivers in this NBA contest with VEASAN and Killer Sports?
Yeah, because Mackenzie Rivers at pregame is like hit 57.5% the last 3
and
years.
you're the great aggregator.
That's a great By the way, if you're an aggregator, I heard Mets twice today.
Yes.
So from Mr. Weingarten and from Joe Pita.
Get ready for a Stevie release on the Mets is what he said.
Hey, real important on that Dustin May comeback player of the year. That's going to win, and here's why. Because I actually was watching the Dodgers, and they reported, I was unaware of this. He had a major medical problem where he swallowed salad the wrong way. Apparently it went down his windpipe.
Can you imagine?
And like middle of the night, he's having trouble breathing. And he's like, I don't know if I should go. And like his loved one took him to the ER, and he may have died if they hadn't gone. So that narrative is going to get out there.
Can I ask you a evolutionary question? How are those two tubes in our body so close to each other? How's that possible?
I'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Mike Rouse. Wait, Fez is good at contests? Who knew? This is from Mikey P. Last week's White Sox-Red Sox game was a great opportunity to sprinkle the money line on the White Sox going for loss number 9 in a row. We'll probably do that again if the opportunity presents itself later in the year.
That one hurt because I needed that nice loss.
Yes, you did. And this is from Scuba Scott. If you would allow me the honor of being a representative of the listeners in your previously mentioned contest, I too will donate any winning prize money to the Grosse Pointe, South Michigan high school baseball team. Derek is very familiar with that school.
Yeah, I've got $1.5 million in contest wins, but I'm being told these contests are all luck.
Yeah, you did pretty good with them.
Yeah,
I've
hung in there.
I do have a ethical question about this contest. Okay, because there's 15 of us. We all kind of know each other. Not maybe everybody, but we're all in the same sort of sphere. Carl, who was just on, and who came up with this, and is providing the contest money from Killer Sports. We get Carl's picks. Okay, right? Carl sends us his picks. We're part of his subscriber list. Is it? I don't know if the word is ethical, right? Because that's a societal thing. But is it contest ethical for us to play Carl's picks in a contest that he is involved in?
Of course.
Well, I know you would answer that way.
It's publicly
I wish I could have bet on that.
Information. So anything that's publicly available.
I feel dirty doing that.
I don't.
I know.
I would feel dirty not doing it.
I know you don't. But now here's the other thing. If I know you're doing it, then why wouldn't I do it knowing that, okay, then why should I concede the edge?
Because if we all did it, then...
Well, it's not going to be all the picks.
But if all 14 of us did it, and then and then Kelly went opposite, he'd have an enormous edge over us.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's the rub on that. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so in that sense, you're right, because we all have the opportunity to fade it as well.
Yes.
Okay. I wish I could have bet on your answer to that question before I could even finish. Absolutely, we could do that, because that is an interesting thing, right? It's there is going to be a lot of that available. Oh, I know that this guy's on that, and
this happened. That. Matt Brown had the lead, right, in the other contest, in the NCAA contest, and he could lose. And was it Tyler who was in second? And
Jensen Lewis.
Jensen
from
excuse me.
Yes.
So Jensen basically disclosed that he was playing under, and Matt's like, all right, I'll play under also.
Yeah.
And then Jensen comes on and says, oh, I might change my pick, which basically he was doubling down, saying, I'm not changing my pick. But when
you read through that.
I would have. I texted you.
Yes, you did.
I said, this is a sure thing that Jensen's not changing.
Okay. I had to ask you. Before we leave, we have 90 seconds. You wanted to mention some promotion, some double promotion?
Stacking promotions, double, triple, etc., is so strong. I'm going to give you 2 of them, okay?
Yeah.
So Monday, South Point has, if you've got points, it's 50% point redemption day, okay? Wednesday at Station, it's 50% point redemption day. One of them, you got to be age 50 or older. I'm sorry, I don't have that detail. But the point is, you get to use your points really cheaply. So, South Point has these great deals already. Those midnight deals at the cafe. So, like between midnight and 6 a.m., instead of getting your cheeseburger for $5, you can get it for $2.50. And then you can move on over to the Station that has their own $5.95 cheeseburger 24/7. You can get it for $3 now because you get a 50% point redemption. It's great stacking one good deal and then getting half off that great deal on top of it.
What I know you're also you want to lose weight though. So what in Steve Fezzik's brain? What takes precedence? This ability to get value in promotions or the desire to lose weight? Because you're going to be a fatty if you do all of these.
Oh yeah, and so basically you just don't eat all day long until midnight, right?
Yeah,
and they hold back. So I tweeted I did the $10 appetizers at the Mediterranean place at Green Valley Ranch last night, knowing it was 50% points off. But I ate 2 appetizers that weren't healthy, but they were both small, so not a ton of calories.
What I'm trying to get to is that your North Star, no matter what, is going to be an edge if there is an edge across town, whether it's in a betting sphere or in promotion of casinos, you cannot physically restrain yourself from exploiting it.
But it can't be across town. It can't pay the gas to go all the way across town. It's got to be convenient.
Yes, absolutely.
Good Lord. Enjoy WrestleMania 41, everybody. Oh, look at Stevie. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. All right. Stormy is next with Money Moves. Enjoy for Visa, the Sports Betting Network.